Peeps, welcome back to another Dealer's Choice video. So far, the dealer is 3-in-1. If you've seen the past videos, you know that. If you haven't seen the past dealer's videos, just know that Ashley chooses 3 whiskeys from the whiskey cabinet of magnificence, and she writes down what she thinks I'm going to choose as my favorite and my least favorite. So basically she has a 33.33% chance of getting my favorite whiskey right. So this requires her to know knowledge of my palate as well as good whiskey, because they go hand in hand, obviously. Let's dip into some whiskey. Just want to give a quick thank you to my recent peeps. You guys liking the videos and subscribing. You guys make all of this worth it, and I'm curious on how far I can take it. So if you want to see more of this, just make sure you subscribe and like. It goes a long way, and I greatly appreciate it. If you want to see what I have from my whiskey collection, make sure you check down in the description below. I do have some, but not all, of my whiskey cabinet collection. So this is basically a blind tasting, and I'm gonna choose which one is the best. On the smell, this reminds me, it's very spicy. If it's not a rye, it could be a high rye bourbon mash bill. It's very sharp on the nose. You get a sharp vanilla, maybe a little bit of brown sugar, but it's basically like one note. That's pretty solid. It's kind of sharp though. Very, very spicy. I don't know if I'm feeling spicy today. We'll see.
Yours was spicy.
Much more buttery vanilla. Very florally as well. Maybe a hint of orange. You get your classic bourbon, vanilla, brown sugar, oak notes. That's a solid bourbon. If it is a bourbon, we don't know yet. A little bit of candied sweetness. The oak didn't come through on the palate as much. Basically any of the bourbon notes didn't really come through as much as on the nose. It was still pretty solid. Very rounded. Very short on the finish. Not very high tannins. I'd say like a low medium. It was solid. Pretty comparable. Completely different, but pretty comparable.
So I wonder if the spicy one kind of dulled the second one, maybe.
It could have. Ooh. Pretty deep oak. Good vanilla, brown sugar notes. Am I getting a little bit of cherry on that? Definitely getting some butterscotch out of that. The depth I smelt on this whiskey came through on the palate. Right now, that takes number 1, and I shift these down. You tracking? Okay. Now I'm going to compare the more spicy and the more rounded. I'm going to take the rounded one first. I'm gonna try the sharper, spicier one. I'm getting a lot of dill pickle now. I don't know. I love dill pickles. Like a lot of dill pickle. It just didn't feel like the complexity I was looking for. The nose was very one note-ish. The palate was very one note-ish. It didn't surprise me at all. This one gave me some good surprises. That's all I'll say about that. So if you combine these two, it comes pretty damn close to this number one.
You ready to see what they are?
Ran out. I feel like I'm gonna regret all my decisions. Alright, Ashley. Tell me what Bravo is. Oh, I know which one. I know which one that one is.
Bravo is Wild Turkey.
Shit, yeah. Wild Turkey 101. It is very one note. It's very cheap, very accessible, but it is a solid whiskey to go to. I'm not saying it's bad, being that it made it last, but it is a little sharper, a little more spicy. It's a very solid whiskey. It is sitting at 50.5% ABV. All right, Ashley, tell me what Charlie is. What?
Your voice sounded so weird.
I had like a
Phlegm
or something. Old Elk blended straight bourbon whiskey. This one's sitting at 44% ABV. It's a pretty solid bourbon. It is blended, but obviously they know what they're doing. It got second place. Just saying. I know there's a lot of people that love Wild Turkey 101 and will go above and beyond on telling me how wrong I am about this. But that leads me to Alpha. What is the best whiskey out of this lineup? Old Forester 1920. I will say this is probably one of my favorite bourbons. It is sitting at 57.5%. It is a little higher in the ABV range, but when you compare it with the Wild Turkey 101, this was a lot more sharper, where this one was just more rounded and it just exploded with flavor. Old Forester 1920. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. I don't have any left to cheers with. Let us know if you guessed this correctly or wrong.
So, I got your number one right. I guess that you picked Old Forester.
Did you actually?
I did.
This
yeah.
is a tough lineup.
Yeah, I thought you would pick Wild Turkey as your second, and then Old Elk. So if I remember correctly, I thought Old Elk had it was a little bit more milder. So I thought you would have gone with the Wild Turkey, it was a little more like punchy. But no, yeah. So I got the first one right, but then I thought Old Elk last place.
Are you going just based off of how much space is left in the bottles?
No.
I do like my Wild Turkey 101 and I do like the 1920, but apparently Old Elk, I don't know, got right in the middle. I'm gonna cheers with some nice old Forester 1920. Till next time, may the roof above us never fall in, and
we friends beneath, never fall out.
Cheers, guys. Yep, I'm pretty happy with my choice on that one. That's solid.